So you decided to get a rucRak Gunny. Good choice. So today I'm going to show you how to put all of this mess together to look like this. Forgive the space here. We're in the middle of a bunch of stuff here, and we're trying to put this video together in the middle of all of it. So mind your damn business. All right. So the rucRak Gunny. What you're going to need. Oh, by the way, why is it called a Gunny? All of my products are named after military ranks and military names. So the Gunny is named after the famous Gunnery Sergeant Arlie Ermy.
From now on, you will speak only when spoken to, and the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be, sir. Do you maggots understand that?
All right. So the first thing you're going to need to do is get your tools out, and you're going to need a 9/16 wrench, a 9/16 socket and ratchet, a 1/2 inch wrench, a 1/2 inch socket, and I do provide you with the hex keys, but if you have these hex key sockets, I highly suggest you use them, although I do provide you the hex keys in the kit, and it is a 7/32 and a 3/16. Then you're going to need a 5/8. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this in the hitch. Okay, so the first thing I need you to do is go in your kit and find the hitch stabilizer. It's a little U-bolt like this and a plate, and it's got a few nuts on. This was a used one. You'll get a new one, don't worry. You're going to put that U-bolt through the plate, and then you're going to put the flat washer, and then the flat washer, and then the nut on there loose. Flat washer, flat nut, nut. We're going to put that on there loose, and then we're going to slide this on here with the kick right here towards the back, towards the tongue. Now, as you'll see here, you got several different choices of pin position here to move this in or out, depending on how close or how far you want it to the vehicle. So it's your choice. I'm not going to hold your hand about that. We're going to do this. Slide it right in the hitch. Pick our position. Okay. Now the hitch pin is in, and now we're going to tighten this up. So you want to get this thing as level as possible from the get-go. So you see I got my swing arm out, and I've laid my level across there, and we're going to put that bubble right in the middle. And the way we're going to do that is by tightening up one side here, maybe kind of helping it out a little bit until that bubble gets in the middle, so that it's good and level when you have it on. Oh, and this is the 5/8. So the reason you want to level it out as much as possible from the very beginning and tighten this hitch stabilizer up from the very beginning is because when you swing this out, if it's not level, the farther it gets out, the more it's exaggerated, leaned one way or another. It's not going to look right, and you're not going to be happy with it. So let's get it good and level to start with. Okay, so now that we've got everything good and level, we're going to put it back together, drop the pin in, secure it that way, and then I want you to go find these. These are called the Z-bar adapters, and then I want you to go and get your swing arm mounting hardware. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to dump all of these out on the table here, so we don't know what part number it is. Don't do that. Please don't do that. We're going to put these part numbers in order here so we can reference them really quick. What we're going to do is we're going to find part number 203 and part number 219, 222, and 221. And we're going to mount these to the swing arm itself. If you'll come around here, I'll show you what we're going to do. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is going to get these out, and these are side concentric. The flange goes to the back, and the top flange goes right over that nutsert in the top there, and the other one goes there like that. So we're going to put this one together right quick. So we're going to get out part number 203, and you can use the hex key that I provided, or you can use your 3/16 hex bit, and we're going to put part number 203 right here. And we're going to tighten it down. Now we don't want to tighten this down all the way just yet. There's a lot of adjustments we need to do in between here and tightening it down. Just get it kind of snug. And then we're going to go find part number 219. And then 222 is the washers. So we're going to put this, just this side here first. We're not going to mess with that side yet. So we're going to put a washer in the front and a washer in the back. And just like the other one, we're not going to crank down on this yet. We're going to just hand tighten it snug for the time being. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now we're going to start building the frame here. So we're going to go and find our two legs and our backing plate here. Now, this is the same plate we use on the Jeeps and Broncos and Land Rovers and all of that stuff. So there'll be holes in this. They don't apply to this application, but I did make another part because it's a whole different part and you have to charge you for it, and you don't want that. So what we're going to do is you see these two holes right here, and you see a lot of holes right here. What we're going to do is I need you to put, for this application, the second hole on the top nutsert, and the top meaning you got one here, and one here. I want you to put it right here. So we're going to do that on both sides. And then we're going to get part number 204 out, and that's the 5/16 by 3/4 button head. And we're going to put that in both those nutserts right there. 204 right here. And we're not going to crank down on it yet. Just get it good and snug and tight. And then we'll show you what we're going to do next. Alright, so then I want you to go find these. These are the frame stiffeners. Alright, and part number 203, which is the 5/16 by 1 inch, and part number 207, which is the flat washer. Now, you notice we didn't put a flat washer up here. We're going to here. So, part number 203 and 207. And for that bottom hole that we just saw, we're going to put the top hole of this frame stiffener right here. And we're just going to get those hand tight. And we're going to do that on both sides. We're not going to tighten it up. Everything's loosey-goosey right now. You know, a lot of people ask me, well, Jason, why don't you do written instructions or PDF instructions anymore? Well, you people won't read. You won't read it. You throw them away and then you call me pissed off because you can't put it together. So you're stuck with me. So here we go. Oh, there was a show. If you didn't see it when you were a kid, you need to show it to your kids. Maybe they'll learn. It's called Reading Rainbow. Great place to start. And then later on in life, when you're trying to put one of these together and you've got an instruction manual, you can actually read it. So we're going to put part number 203 and 207 in there at the top, like we said. Now, remember, you want this curve right here to the back side facing you. And then we're going to show you what to do next. Okay, now that we've decided how our mounting plate is mounted, front or back, up or down, now we can attach the flagpole to it, umbrella holder. So we're going to need part number 216, which is the 2-inch bolt, and part number 205, which is the block nuts. And what I like to do is I like to mount mine on the passenger side of the vehicle, so that is the proper way to mount the flag. And we're going to just stick that bolt through there, line those up, put that on there. Now, if you've mounted it to the inside of these uprights, this flagpole is designed to fit in this pocket between the mounting plate and the upright. So you're going to mount it to the front side. So you just want it in this pocket right here, whichever side that is on. So we'll just tighten these up. And there's no need to crank down on these. This is aluminum pipe, and it will bend on you if you do it too much. So Z-men out there, back off just a little bit. Okay? It just needs to be good and tight. Okay, so remember when I told you not to put in this hole? Here's why. Because now we're going to move this whole assembly over here, but we're going to slide this in with the brace on the back side of this bracket and the leg on the inside. We're going to slide that in just like that and let that sit for just a minute, because now we're going to go find part number 219 along with the 222 washer, and we're going to put it right there, and we're going to go all the way through that Z-bar adapter and through the stiffener, and then we're going to put a 222 washer on the back of it here, and the part number 221 nut, and we're not going to tighten any of it up just yet. We're just going to get it all hand tight. And now we're going to get out part number 220. And this is the 3/8 by 2.5. We're going to put a washer on that. Okay? So now we're going to put part number 220 right there. Okay? And we'll put the washer behind it. 222. then the nut 221. And high and tighten that too. And then we're going to go and find part number 217, which is a 5/16 bolt, and the part number 207, the flat washer for that. And we're going to put that right in this hole right here, like that. Might have to get mean with it. And then part number 207 on the other side, which is the flat washer. And then part number 205. By the way, my cameraman today is the famous Mando Outdoors, and I'll put a link to his build and his Instagram in the description. You need to go check it out. Badass. So now we've gotten all that together and everything's loose, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, now we're going to tighten everything up. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tighten the back side of these up. And you can go ahead and this is the small hex key that I gave you, or a 3/16 if you're using a driver. And go ahead and crank down on that pretty good. It doesn't need to be 100 foot-pound T-man. It just needs to be what the Germans call good and tight. Alright, and we're going to crank down on both sides. Now it's good and tight. Now we're going to hit these two. Okay? So that's the same size. And now, and don't go, there's no need to crank down on it, because if you strip that nut cert out in there, I can't help you. It's over. Okay? So now, let's tighten this up since we got that wrench out. And that's going to be a 1/2 inch on, this is the 3/16 and a 1/2 inch wrench. And you can crank down on this pretty good too. Okay? And the same thing over here. Okay? Now you're going to get the next size up hex key, which is a 7/32 and a 9/16. Now, I use a deep well socket here. You can use a regular wrench if you want to. It's just easier to get back in here with that. But that's the two that we're going after next. And you actually want to tighten the nut on the back side and not the bolt. So we're going to tighten the nut. And you want to crank down on that pretty good too. Alright, and do the other side here. Alright, and now we're going to get to the inside here and below. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to tighten the nut. bottom one here. And then we're going to do the top. Oh, we just did that, didn't we? We're going to do the outside for the last one. Okay. Now that we've given that frame the Viagra treatment and it's good and stiff, we can move on to the next project. Now, I need you to go find what we're calling the hinge plate and the two short legs, okay? And you'll see there's an end cap on one side of these legs, and then there's two holes close together on the other side. This is the side that goes like that. All right? So that's how we're going to do that. Now, it is very important that you follow these steps exactly, or you will screw this up and it won't work. And then you'll call me pissed off, and then I'm going to tell you where you went wrong. Okay? 217. That's the 5/16 by 2.5 inch bolt. We're going to put a washer on it, and we're going to put it in these two holes right here. 207 washer. And we're going to do that on both sides. Boom. Boom. And here comes the important part. This part number 206, this nylon washer, goes to the inside, just like that, down all four spots. Okay? Alright? Then, we're going to take those two holes and line them up with the bolt. We just slide that thing on just like that. And then, we're going to put two more of part number 206 nylon washers on there. And then, this is your gusset. This is going to tighten everything up, make it strong like bull. Got it? Bam. And we're going to do that on both sides. So, I've got my nylon washers on there. Now I'm going to put two more on the outside there. And that'll leave you two, and we'll get to them later. Then you're going to put your gusset on. And then we're going to go find 207, which is the washer. And 205, which is the lock nut. Okay? And we're going to do that on both sides. Now that we've gotten all that down, we're going to tighten it down. We're going to use our 1/2 inch and our 3/16 uh, Hitch drive. And we're going to tighten this down. Now, all you he-men and meatheads out there, this doesn't have to be 100 foot-pounds of torque on it. It just means to be good and tight and good and really good and snug. It doesn't have to be torqued down like crazy. Because you don't want to squeeze those nylon washers too much because it'll throw the geometry off and then you'll be mad at me and that won't be good. So just good and tight. Now we're ready for the next step. So now we want to get out our basket triangles here like that. And we're going to get out our decal pack, which has our position decals on there. These are kind of nice. I'm going to show you how to set this up. So if the camera woman will come behind my back, we're going to show you how to orient all of this stuff. So if you lay down your basket triangles like this and put your bike sticker here. Yes, I know it's crooked. And then you're going to put your other bike sticker here. And then your gear sticker is going to go upside down on this one. And the other one is going to go upside down on this one, like that. And then your home sticker is going to look like this. You're going to do home pointing towards the bikes. And you're going to do home pointed towards the bikes. Oops, that's really crooked. We can't have that. Okay. Now, what we want to do is take these triangles and lay them in this position where you see the bikes here. And over here, the bikes are facing towards you. We have part number 201 here. What we're going to do with that is we're going to go back and get our 207 flat washer. And then we're going to have 206, the last two nylon washers. And we're going to put our bolt in. And then we're going to put that to the inside. And we're going to put it through that middle hole right there. Okay? And then we're going to put another 207 on here. And then another 205. Okay? And don't tighten this up yet because we're going to do something here. You're going to have 2 pins and lanyards here. We're going to have to put those together. Part number 212 and 211. And then just thread that lanyard through like a key ring. And then if a camera woman will come around here, we're going to put that loop around between the bolt and the washer here and just plug it into the bike. Okay. Oops. So plug it in here. And then this kind of gets a little tricky, but you're going to kind of hold this up with your thumb and tighten this nut on the other side so that that lanyard stays up like that. And you don't want to get it awful super tight, but you kind of want to make sure that the threads here come through that nylon, and we're going to do all of that on the other side too. Now you have your hinge assembly, hinge basket assembly together, and you have the last part number 217, which is the 2.5-inch bolts, and the washers, and you're going to need 2 nuts. And if my camera lady will come over here, we're going to show you where to hang this. We're going to hang it on this frame. So if you see right here, this has got 2 right here. This has got 2 holes in it. We're going after that bottom hole right here. Okay? So we're going to line this up, and we're just going to push that all the way through, and the same thing on the other side. And now you see it, and we're going to put 2 washers and 2 nuts on that. So 2 washers, 2 nuts, and I'm going to start these. Now, this is important for you he-men out there and the bodybuilders. You don't want to tighten down on this a lot, because if you do, it won't operate correctly. This is designed to just ride in there, and that's why they're lock nuts on there. And you just want, camera lady, you just want it to go down enough to get through that nylon and that lock washer until you feel a little resistance against this gusset, because you want to leave this room to rotate. Okay? And let's do it on the other side. Okay, well, we lost audio for a little while, so you'll see I dubbed in some older video for the grunt. It works the same way, but to catch you up, we left this a little bit loose, all right, and here's why. So we're going to put these 4, go into these 4 holes here, boom, and the tolerances are so tight on the thing that if you tighten that up, then it wouldn't have fit correctly. We're going to tighten it up now, and then we'll put the nuts on. Okay, so now, remember we left this one a little bit loose. We can tighten it down now. And we can tighten it down. Now remember, it doesn't need to be over tight. Remember, it's got a swing, so we just want it good and snug. And we just want to keep that lanyard out there so it will, and you saw it tighten up here. We're just going to give it one little half a little turn there. And now we can take part number 209, which is the 3/8 24 nuts. We're going to put them on, we're going to put them on 4 sides right here. And we can tighten those up, and they do not have to be crazy tight. They're fine ultra fine thread, and they will lock down pretty good. So just good and snug here. You may have to pull the pin out to get these tight, and you can switch on to the other side and tighten those too. Okay, now there's this little plate right here. Now this plate does several things. On the Wrangler Bronco, it serves as a camera protection plate, and on the Gunny here, it's going to shore up that metal plate and give it a lot more rigidity. So we're going to get part number 203 and 207. That's the 5/16 by 1 with the washer on it. And we're going to come over here and I'm going to put this plate in right here, and then we're going to hold our tongue straight like Michael Jordan, and we're going to tighten that down. And like I said, this gives this whole plate here even more rigidity here. So we're going to tighten that down. A small hex key or the 3/16. And now that's good to go. Okay, now that we've decided how our mounting plate is mounted, front or back, up or down, now we can attach the flagpole to it, umbrella holder. So we're going to need part number 216, which is the 2-inch bolt, and part number 205, which is the block nuts. And what I like to do is I like to mount mine on the passenger side of the vehicle, because that is the proper way to mount the flag. And we're going to just stick that bolt through there, line those up, put that on there. Now, if you've mounted it to the inside of these uprights, this flagpole is designed to fit in this pocket between the mounting plate and the upright. So you're going to mount it to the front side. So you just want it in this pocket right here, whichever side that is on. So we'll just tighten these up. And there's no need to crank down on these. This is aluminum pipe, and it will bend on you if you do it too much. So G-men out there, back off just a little bit. Okay? Just needs to be good and tight. Okay, now we're going to install the rucRak table. So you guys at the swing arm here, you have a decision to make. If you're going to want the table to fold down forward, or if you want the table to fold down backward to kind of give yourself an L-shaped type work area here, you can do that either way, but we need to make that decision up front, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. If you're going to fold the table down forward like this, you're going to want to go in your kit and find the table legs plate back. Okay? And then you're going to want to go find your part number 204, the 3/4 bolts, and the 205. And so how we're going to do this is going to mount. They are side concentric. This is going to mount right here in these holes, and you're going to just put those bolts in through here, like this. Okay? And tighten them up with the 205 nuts. Alright? Now, if you're going to fold the table backwards, you're going to want to use table legs plate front. Okay? Now, once you've gotten your table legs installed, you're going to go and find part number 215, which are the 5/8 by 2 pins, and part number 210, which are the knobs. And the caveat here is if you're mounting this to the back here, you're going to see there's going to be 2 holes you can mount it to here. If you're mounting it to the back, you can only use the top hole. So we're going to line those up with the pin. Put your pin through the hinge and the hole here. Fold up and put your knob in. Okay? If you're going to mount it to the front, now you have 2 options. You can mount it to the bottom or the top hole here. We're going to go for the bottom hole to get a low profile. And we're going to just feed that pin through there. And then we're going to get our 2 knobs. And bam, it's on. Okay, so let's go over some of the features and benefits here. So to lower your basket, we're going to pull your pins, and if I can get the camera woman to come around here, I'm going to pull this little pin here on both sides called home. And then to get in our cargo carrier position or gear position, we're going to fold it like this and just put your pin back through the gear and do that on both sides. And if you want to put it in the bike position, boom, put the pin in both sides and add your bike pole, bike accessory kit. Okay, and you'll see on the side of this basket here, there's 4 holes here. Well, that's for several things. You can put your Rotopax mounts here. That's for your fuel and water mounts. You can find those on Amazon or Rotopax. They make a cool product. Or you can mount your wagon kit to it. Go to the website, check out the wagon kit. It's pretty cool. And then on the outside of the basket here, you'll see holes where you can, this same pole here that we use for our flagpole or umbrella holder, it can be mounted on either side. You can order 2 of them. One comes with it, but you can order an extra one to put on the other side for 2 flags. Or you can put them out here for fishing rod holders. And then, of course, you got your bike straps here. And then you got a molly panel here. You got the 4 holes here and 4 holes inboard for your quick fist grips. That's to hold your tools, your axe or shovel or whatever you want to put up there. And then you can put this table now in 2 positions. In that position and there, and then this is the lower position, and then there's an upper position here you can put it in, so you can bring it up high or low. and will fold up either way. But I'm going to show you a little secret here. In order to put this thing back up in the home position, this thing needs to be, the tolerances are really tight on it, so it has to be straight up and down and good and plumb. And usually this is a lot lower than it is right here. But if you put your thigh on it right here, that'll usually plumb it up really good, and that pin will slide right in. And now you can ride around, and when you don't need it and you're not using it, you can still ride around and show off your pretty rack.